Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. My name's Melissa and this is a podcast about knitting and creative living. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my podcast. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I am so happy to spend time with you guys. I enjoy every single episode that we get to spend time together. And how have you been? How's your week been? Kind of quiet, not eventful week, right? Yeah, right. Interesting week, has it not been? Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but one of the things I have been doing this week is really just counting my blessings. Trying to take the time to slow down and see what I have and really just make those small moments count. And yeah, one of the things that just kind of struck me this week, I was kind of messing around on the phone and going through some pictures and videos from Rhinebeck, and I came across a video that reminded me perfectly of what I'm talking about. When we were at Rhinebeck, I took my son Ashton, who is 10, and one of the things he did as we're walking by, it's beautiful, beautiful scenery in Rhinebeck, New York. Fall, and the leaves are changing colors and some of them are falling, and we're walking by this huge gorgeous tree and the leaves just were falling. They were just like raining down, lots of them from the tree. What does Ashton do? He stops, gets under the tree and starts trying to catch the leaves. Now, had it been just me alone, I would have walked right by. Wouldn't even have thought twice about it. But there were so many of them. It was raining leaves. I've never seen that many leaves fall at once from one tree. And so it was really spectacular to watch. And it was just so much fun to watch him try to catch the leaves. And I'm just going to insert a small clip of that video. I thankfully broke out the camera and hit recording and got him, just having fun, enjoying the beauty of the moment. So just put a little clip of that in here. Doesn't that make you just want to go outside and play in the leaves? If you haven't done it, take some time, slow down, do something fun. Do something, do a simple pleasure. Make yourself a good cup of coffee. Watch a good show with someone. Call a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Do something fun and nice and relaxing and calming. One of the other things I've been doing is spending time with my kids crafting. And we have been doing stamps. We've been doing stamps for a few months now. My daughter Ruby loves stamping. And when I first bought the stamps, it's because of her that we got into stamps to begin with. And I have bought crafts for children. Ruby is my third child, so I'm not unfamiliar with buying crafts for children. But I don't know why. I made a huge rookie error this time around. So I went to buy a bunch of stamps at Michael's and I bought some ink. And the first time we stamped together, Ruby had an absolute blast. I took off her shirt so she didn't get ink on her shirt because Ruby is my only child who has truly believes that the world is her canvas. And she is the one who has drawn on the walls. The boys never did. She is the one who has drawn all over her crafting table, which That's fine. Oh, she just, yeah, there's lots of colorful artwork. Ruby's mark is all over our house. So, yeah, stamping was no exception. She was there with my boys at the table, and usually they're pretty good at keeping a decent eye on her. And I was just leaving to take a quick bathroom break. But when I came back, Ruby looked like a drunken sailor who had stumbled into a tattoo parlor. Yeah, she had taken the stamps and stamped her little body all over, all over, all over. Well, it wouldn't have been a big deal, and it ultimately wasn't a big deal, but I bought permanent ink. Not washable, permanent. Permanent, good quality archival ink that you use to stamp, and it's going to last forever ink. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So Ruby got to wear her stamps for a few days. It was fantastic taking her to preschool. Oh, but what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? So I hope that you guys have been able to find some enjoyment in this week. I am going to share with you today one FO, a whip, some dream knitting, some mail, and a little bit of stash acquisition. This is going to be a shorter podcast. I wanted to get that out as quick as possible. Not as quick as possible, that's not true. I wanted to get this out relatively quick because I am leaving to go out of town on Monday for work into the DC area, and I get to see Andy from Andre Sue Knits podcast, my friend that I did not get to spend hardly any time with at Rhinebeck, which was a tragedy. So I'm so happy that we are going to be able to meet up while I'm out there for work and spend some time together. We are going to see what happens. We're going to try to maybe podcast or Periscope or do something kind of fun. But we may end up chatting and crafting, and it may just like fall to the side. Who knows? I cannot promise what's going to happen, but I know fun is going to be had. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things I do want to talk about real quick, let's see, I'm going to do some giveaways too at the end of this episode. Towards the end, I have some patterns, some great pattern giveaways. But I also want to say very quickly, check out the coupon code thread in the Spicy Homemaker Ravelry group. We do have this really cool new coupon that came in, a couple actually. There's been a few that's come in, so really check it out. But one in particular was from Courtney. She is Knit and Pearl Girl on Ravelry and Instagram. And her and her husband started roasting coffee, which I think is so cool. So they roast and sell coffee. They are leftcoastcoffeeroasters.com. So she's a knitter and she's selling coffee. And the coffee I got to sample, and I went right back and immediately bought more, was called Knitter's Fuel. I love that name. It is so delicious, so wonderful, and that one's a strong, I love strong coffee. That is a strong coffee, but they have other roasts if you're not interested in strong coffee. But she gave us a coupon code too. It's in the Spicy Homemaker Ravelry group. I'll flash it up here as well. But I wanted to pass that along to you guys. Saw a coupon code that someone popped in there right before the podcast with 2 pointed sticks, I think it is. She dyes beautiful indie yarn. I've never seen her yarn until tonight. And she's giving 25% off everything in her shop, her Etsy shop. It's Love 2016, I believe, is the coupon code. Once again, it's in the coupon thread in the Ravelry group. So check it out if you're interested. But she's trying to clear out all her colorways to make room for new colorways, which score for us, right? So wanted to pass that on to you guys real quick. Of course, there's the Awesome Granny. Bags by Awesome Granny is in there as well. And I think that's it, actually. I think that's all the coupon codes we have. There might be another one for patterns. I think there is one for Madeline Windsor. I think that's another one that's in there. Check it out. There's some really cool coupon codes in there. So let's go right into knitting. Let's just get there. Let's go there now. I have a finished object. And whoops, there went the iPad, there went the pencil. Mayday, mayday, things are falling everywhere. But let me show you what I got, guys. You saw this months ago and I had to put it in timeout because it was what I had told you guys before was the perfect knitting project. I had the perfect pattern with the perfect yarn and I was just loving, loving, loving the process and the product that it was producing. But then we had a falling out and it had to go into timeout. And what is the project? The Wendy Sky Shawl by Debbie Reese of Periscoping Sisters, Debbie Reese and Amy Meeks. And here it is, guys. Check it out. It is finished and blocked. And it looks, ooh, that looks a bit washed out on the screen there. Let me look. That's kind of odd because usually the colors are not washed out. Not terribly washed out, but a bit. So the yarns that I used is the blue is Witching Hour by A Corgi, who is Gabby. She has a podcast called Once Upon a Corgi. She's an awesome indie dyer. She's on Instagram. You guys should check out her colorways. They're gorgeous. I have loved her yarn from day one. And then this beautiful multicolored yarn that it's kind of showing up pretty good, yeah. This is ZiaWoolz. Dag is the wonderful indie dyer behind ZiaWoolz, and this is colorway Aquarius. I loved both these yarns. When I blocked this, there was no, as you can see, no bleeding. Nothing crazy happened with the yarn. It was perfect. Huge triangular shawl. And what will I tell you about this shawl? Lots of things I'm going to tell you about this shawl. The first thing. All right, so up until, I want to say somewhere in here, because I'm looking at it and I can kind of see what happened. Yep, somewhere right before I got to this section here. It was perfection. I mean, perfection. I was knitting it perfectly. It was such a wonderful experience. Because in shawls, you can get off a stitch or two, and it's not a big deal. But this was going perfectly, perfectly. And then, I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure I missed an increase somewhere because, you know, you're just getting, there's some garter stitch sections. So it would be very easy. It's a relatively easy shawl to make. But it would be very easy to miss an increase if you're in the zone. It's not hard. It's just, I could see that it could happen. And I did. I must have missed one somewhere because my count started getting off, which isn't a huge deal. Like, there is some mistakes here. Like, they don't line up perfectly here, but you wouldn't know that unless you saw the pattern or you knew what the pattern was saying. It looks perfectly fine. Then when I got down to this big flower section here, I ended up putting a couple more lines in, a couple more rows, I should say, of the colors here than the pattern called for. And I believe that was a mistake on my part, but it didn't matter. I mean, it didn't detract or anything. If anything, I think it might have added to the shawl. But this part here, there are minor errors. And when I hold it up, I could see some of the things just slightly off. There's a few things just going a little wonky, but as you see it like this, how does it look to you? When I see it from there, I think it looks fine, and I'm very happy with how this shawl turned out. There's mistakes, but even looking at it very closely, well, and when I say closely, I'm talking like that close. Still looks fine, doesn't it? What I try to remember on certain shawls like this, where I've made mistakes, but I'm okay with them, instead of stressing out about it, there's no crazy mistakes here. I think of what the Yarn Harlot says, Stephanie Pearl McPhee. And she says that no matter how good of a knitter you are, you should never look at your knitting truly close up, because it's kind of like kissing with your eyes open. Nobody looks good that close. And I have to agree. So no one's going to be coming up and looking at the shawl like this. It's kind of like a Monet painting. When you look at it from a distance, it's beautiful. And it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. If you look at it from maybe even a foot away, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. So that's just my way of saying, if you've knit something and you're stressing out about some minor mistakes, really step back. Look at it from a good 2 to 3 feet, even 4 feet, and look at it. Because that's how most people are going to see it when you're wearing it. Does it look okay? If it is, move on. Enjoy it. This is a gift. And I tend to be more careful about my gift knitting. And I did rip back a few times on certain things because there was a couple things. There was a part when there was too much of a mistake on one of them, and I knew what I did, and I only had to rip back like 3 rows. I had to do that for myself, and I did. But it's okay. It's okay. I know the recipient's going to love this, and I'm excited about giving it to that person. And yeah, I enjoyed this knit. I really did. I'm so glad I took it out of hibernation and finished it. I always knew it was going to finish. I knew that it wouldn't be something that I would frog. I always knew I would get it finished. I just didn't know when. Well, it bit me this week and I finished it. So I'm very happy with that. The other thing, okay, so if you're a fairly new knitter, you can do this, okay? The only part that might be a little tricky is the flower. That's what they call the make flower. That's the stitch it's called in here. And that's what gives you these beautiful eyelets, but it kind of looks like a flower in here. Now, what I will say is, yes, it's a little tricky and it will feel awkward when you're doing it, but the instructions are very, very well written in the pattern along with instructions and pictures. And then I used a YouTube tutorial in the beginning. Oh gosh, we've been so many episodes ago when I talked about this. I will try to find that. I will try to put that link down below. I know I still have not posted show notes from the last episode. Sorry guys. But I still have them. We'll see what I can do. If I don't post show notes and you have a question, feel free to ask me. I'll answer any question. But if you have problems with that and I forget to post that link, ask me. It's somewhere. I can find that fairly easy. But that is my finished object. That will be going to its new home soon. And I love it. I love it. I love it. The Windy Sky is, if you guys are familiar with Amy and Debbie of the Periscoping Sisters, it's a wonderful story about their sister who has passed, and they did this as in memory of her. And anytime they look at a beautiful sky, a sunset, a sunrise, they call it a windy sky. And that's why I picked the colors I did. To me, this reminds me of kind of like a sunrise on a spring day over the water. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love these colors. I'm very happy with it. So let me tell you about my whip. Now, my whip is not too extraordinary, to be quite honest. At where we're at right now, you're not going to be too wowed by it. Just FYI. I am doing kind of just a little informal knit along with my friend Connie, who is the dyer behind Chili Knits. I got to meet her at Rhinebeck and we have been keeping in touch. She is so sweet and so fun. I love her. Hi, Connie. And this is the hat. She wanted to knit this and she was asking if anyone would knit it. And I said, yeah, I'll knit it with you. So this is by Mandarines and it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. And I cast it on last night, I think. And here is where I'm at. I just have the ribbing going. But why am I showing you this now? For 2 reasons. Because I mean, really, it's just ribbing. That's nothing too exciting. But I want to talk to you about a couple things. One, this is my gorgeous bag from my friend Deanna of Skeins and School. She made this for me. Oh gosh, this fabric is just to die for. I love this. And she gave me a little matching Notions pouch. We did a swap a while back and I love this. Oh, it's beautiful. This yarn is from Woolen Rabbit. And I have bought their yarn, gosh, years ago. And I've bought it a few times. And this has been in my stash for probably 4 years, I'm guessing, if not more. I am in love with this base. This is just as you can see, a dark charcoal. It's kind of, I don't know if it might be pulling a little blue on the screen. It's just a really dark charcoal. But this is the Woolen Rabbit. It's on the worsted weight yarn. Chimney Sweep is the colorway, and it's opal base. 75% merino, 15% silk, 10% cashmere. It's 200 yards. And I don't know if that's going to show up. And I don't even know if that's their card anymore. She's still online and she still dyes, but she might have a different card. Oh, I'm showing it to you upside down. There we go. But anyways, it is so soft and so squishy. Oh my gosh. I am in love with how this feels. It is just such a wonderful yarn. It is a joy to knit with. For those of you who hate knitting ribbing, I've never hated ribbing. But I'm really liking this even more so because just how it feels. I cannot quit petting it. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that. It is a beautiful, wonderful yarn. I will buy yarn from Woolen Rabbit probably throughout the years to continue. I've bought from her several times. So just wanted to tell you about that. And then also what I wanted to share with you guys is that I'm going to put a pom-pom on it. Now I do have pom-pom makers. I've made pom-poms and I like making pom-poms. However, for this, I had this vision of one of them faux fur pom-poms. So I bought a couple online and I got the 3.5 inch pom-pom. They had a 4.5 inch pom-pom, but it came in this little bag. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. Give you an idea of how big it is. This is how they came. I bought a black one and a gray one. And so I was really thinking they were going to be bigger. I mean, it said 3.5 inches, and I guess I don't know. Really, 3.5 inches isn't all that big. I will see in the end, but I think this might be a little too small for me. I don't like giant pom-poms, but I don't like teeny tiny ones either. This isn't teeny tiny, but it's on the small side, so I might go and purchase a 4.5 inch one instead. But I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. To me, well, here's my hand. It's not, it's about the size of my palm. I've got smallish hands, a little bit smaller. So just an idea of what that looks like. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. Maybe I can make Ruby a hat and put these on there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. That is it for FOs and whips. Let's move on to dream knitting. I'm going to share some dream knitting with you guys today because I just got to tell you, I've been a fairly responsible knitter for the past couple months, maybe. I don't know, time kind of melts together, at least a month, if not more. I have been wanting to cast on so many new projects, but I have made myself stop. And I did finish the Wendy Sky Shawl, so that was good. And you guys saw my Rhinebeck sweater, so I've been finishing stuff. I've been getting things off the needle, so I've been trying so hard to not cast on anything new. I cannot take it anymore. I cannot take it. I did cast on the Treehouse Knits hat, and let me show you what I've already caked up and ready to go. I have to reach down since it fell off. Okay, the next thing I am going to do is the Pirouette Wrap by B. Capture. And this was gifted to me by the lovely Talia, who is one of the co-hosts of the Pin, Hook, and Needles podcast. She's awesome. Those ladies, hi, Talia and Marlisha. And I bought this yarn specifically for this project. This was at, bought it at Stitches Midwest, Leading Men Fiber Arts, and Ain't My First Rodeo. That's the name of the colorway. Ooh, that is not the right. I just pulled the wrong tag. There we go. Ain't My First Rodeo. And I got it in the Show Stealer base. 435 yards for 100 grams. 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. Fingering weight. I'm so excited about this. This color is not showing up on there. Yes, it is. Okay, so it's like a dusty blue, grayish purple with these, I mean, the speckling on this, I doubt will show up on the camera, but it is the most fine speckles. It's very just delicate, fine blue speckles throughout. And it's so subtle. And it's just, I just think this is gorgeous. And I think it's going to be a really classy wrap when I'm done. I got this to go with the Pirouette Wrap. And I will be casting that on the next couple days. What I love about this wrap. I love the texture in this wrap. I love the textures in this wrap. It is so different to me. It's using garter stitch, it's using some twisted ribbing, and then it has a decorative border and it's scalloped. And you can do picots at the end, and I'm not going to because I see it in both ways. I saw some with picots and some without picots, and I'm not putting picots on there. I like just the beautiful scalloped edge. I've said previously, I'm not a huge picot fan. I can do them on some of them, but if given the option, 9 times out of 10, I'll choose not to do the picots. So I am really excited to do that. And by the way, oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't show you guys this. I've showed this before in my podcast, but this is my chocolate bag. This is by Vicki of Victoria House Studios. She is the indie dyer and bag maker, and her husband joins her in crafting. Which, let me show you this too real quick. I was going to show this at another point, but I'm going to show this now. I love when I hear couples who both craft and do things together. I think that's just amazing. I love this project bag. This project bag does a million different things. It has snaps on the inside, like let me show you. I've showed this before in a podcast, so I'm going to show it just quickly. Like, see, you can snap it, and it's almost like a drawstring in a way. You can fold it down like a bucket. There's just all kinds of things that goes on with this bag that is just amazing. I love this bag. And there's a pocket on the inside too. But her husband got into enameled copper, hammering enameled copper, or copper smithing is what I guess I should call it. And he donated these to the podcast. So these are enameled copper buttons, and I don't know that this camera is going to do it justice or not, but look at those. They're beautiful, gorgeous, this just deep, rich blue that he made. And I think this would be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Either on a sweater that has the buttons just up here, there's those 2 buttons, but what I keep seeing is a big chunky cowl that has 2 buttons, just like right here. There's so many things I would do with these. I think these are beautiful. So this is going to be part of a prize in the future, but just wanted to show you guys that because they are a shop that keeps expanding with their creativity, and I just think that's so amazing. Okay, so we have 2 pattern giveaways. I'm going to open a thread for each one. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want people to get patterns who want the patterns. Don't just collect patterns to collect patterns. Like, get the pattern if you really want to knit it, okay? I have a pattern for you guys called Tinctoria. I think I said that right. And it's from Emily of Fibertown podcast. Emily is so talented. She is one of the podcasters out there and makers that I truly admire on so many levels. Her skill is just amazing. And she came up with this pattern. It's a cowl. And it has, she did it with a gradient mini set when she made hers. So it's worsted weight on the outside. There's a beautiful fingering weight lining on the inside to kind of cover up the, any sort of, to make it just look perfect on the inside, really is what it does. It covers up any of those odds and ends on the inside, and just, it looks, this is a gorgeous cowl. I think this would it'd be perfect for you, but I think it would make an excellent, excellent gift. This is one of those gifts you give to a non-knitter and wow the socks off of them, because I think it would look amazing and store-bought in a good way and just squishy and beautiful. And I think you could have a lot of fun with choosing colors for this. If you chose not to do a gradient, maybe something a little bit different. So we are giving that away. We are also giving away a pattern collection that I'm going to share so much more with you guys about. This is called Point and Counterpoint. I'm not going to share much with you now, but I want to get this collection out to you guys because it's the season for knitting this kind of stuff. This is such an amazing collaboration between 2 designers, Sarah and, oh goodness, Kino Knits. I'm going to tell you guys more about them, so forgive me for not saying much now. But I've talked to them, I've given them some interview questions. It's such an amazing collaboration. 2 designers who are friends just through online did a collection where one person designed an accessory and they passed it to the other person. The other person had to design a coordinating piece to go with it, and vice versa. The other person did the same thing. No idea what the one person was going to, make or create until it got to them. So in this collection, there's fingerless mitts, there's a shawl, there's a cowl, and a hat, and they're beautiful. And right now, we have viewers who are knitting the patterns, and I've already gotten a full review back from another person, and it's just some really good feedback that I cannot wait to share with you guys. But it's just so cool that these 2 women came together and said, let's do something cool. Like let's let's be creative together and figure this out. And they did, and it was just, yeah, I'll have to share those questions with you. Let's do that next podcast because it's been a while since I've had it. I wanted to wait to get some feedback from some of the people who are reviewing it, not testing it, reviewing it. It's already been tested and all that. So that is coming your way. Whole collection that they have donated to the podcast to one of you guys as a prize. So that's going to be opened up to Counterpoint. That is the name of the collection, okay? So we have those two. I will open a thread. They'll close out in a week or so. I'll put an end date in the thread, and I'll announce a winner, or I'll probably just send you a message on Ravelry, and I'll post the winners in the thread so you'll know that I actually gave them out. But yeah, I wanted to share those with you guys, and thank you so much, Emily and ladies of the Point and Counterpoint collaboration. Guys, I appreciate every donation that I get. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I love passing along wonderful patterns to you guys. The advent calendar swap that we have going on in Spicy Homemaker Ravelry Group. It has been so much fun. You guys should totally check it out. There's some wonderful, wonderful advent calendars over there. I love looking at them, you guys. Just check it out. Even if you're not a part of the swap, you'll love them. They're amazing, the creativity. And I just got mine from Janice. I have 2 swap partners. Janice, I just got yours today. Thank you. It's awesome. I love it so much. And I want to say thank you to those who have been angels in the swap to help out whenever someone isn't able to complete a swap, or, you know, Darlene of Bags by Awesome Granny, thank you so much. She just helped with the latest emergency we just had. And yeah, those people who decide to help out, and there's been people who have already volunteered to help for future last minute emergencies. You guys are awesome. You're great. And thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. It makes these things just, there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be things that happen, but you guys just sharing the load a little bit really helps out. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't mailed your calendar out now, do it now, right now. Put it in the mail now. You're supposed to have done it by the 1st. Now, in the mail, now. Nobody should be without a calendar on December 1st, okay? Let's have them there. Okay. I'm looking at some pretty yarn. Let me show you a couple Christmas ornaments. We have a Christmas ornament thread to share your favorite Christmas ornaments that you knit. And I just thought these would be perfect. I'm going to share this real quick. These are from other people that I've gotten. This is from Allie of Get Lit and Knit. They sent, I think they sent a joint package, Allie and Abby, Get Lit and Knit podcast. And they put this in there. It's a little tree on a little wine cork. I love this. This is sitting on my nightstand right now next to my bed, and Ruby plays with it all the time. Sometimes I have to search for it. But this is so cute and be so quick of a knit. I love this. There's also this I just got in the mail today from Vicky of Sweet Leaps Podcast. She is Devixta on Ravelry and Instagram. If you haven't checked out her podcast, you should. She talked about these. If you asked her, she would tell you, but I want to say 3 or 4 episodes ago. Super easy. Like, look, she did knit this little snowman. This is like a ball of yarn, and I forget how she said she did. She knit the hat and the scarf, but super quick and easy and so cute. And I don't know what glue she used, but there's this little bitty nose on here and these buttons, and Ruby has already hugged the living daylights out of this sucker. I had to, we call him Robbie the Snowman now, save him, but nothing has come off. So, Vicky, what did you use? Because I am quite amazed that Robbie the Snowman still has a nose. But I just think this is adorable. I think this is so cute. I wanted to share that with you. Also, what I got from Vicky in the mail, I'm not going to share everything. She really spoiled me. She's my best fiber friend. I love that, BFF. She gave me this book. Now, I remember Andy talking about this on her podcast a long time ago. And it was The Knitter's Life List. To do, to know, to explore, to make. And Vicky said she has it and she loves this book. So I'm so looking forward to this. This is by Gwen Steege. And it's not a pattern book. but I'm going to look through it. Maybe I'll talk about it later. But like I said, I know Andy from Andre Sue Knits has talked about this in a podcast before, but it's kind of like 1001 inspirations for every knitter. There's 122 techniques and tips to learn, 64 personalities to meet, 69 styles and traditions to explore, 33 yarn fibers to try. So it's kind of like maybe a bucket list, if you will. Like, I just open it up and it says explore knitting for a cause. There's some classic shawls in here, top hat kick. Yeah, it's the socks life list. It is really interesting. I am very intrigued by this book. I've never seen anything like this. How to be a problem solver, learn fixer uppers, travel back to school, learn favorite gifts. I can't wait to really break into this. I'll probably take this on my trip with me because I think this would be a great book to read. I want to have some time to really spend with it. So thank you, Vicki. She also gave me this really fun yarn from Baron Vola, and it is Summer Sizzle. Look at that. A little bit pop of green too. I like that. That's going to be fun. I have no idea what that's going to be yet, but I can't wait for it to tell me what it wants to be when it grows up. So thank you, Vicki. I'm making sure I think that was it that I was going to share. That was like a small portion of what she gave me. But thank you so much, Vicki. I loved it. The only other thing I'm going to share is, quick question for you guys. Hey, what do you think about doing a knit along in January for the Victoria sweater, the Rhinebeck sweater that I made? I have been in contact with the designer, and she has some great ideas of some things she wants to do and some tutorials she wants to make, and maybe even tweak the pattern a little bit. It was just really lovely to talk to her about her pattern and share my thoughts with her. And she was thinking, maybe we could do a knit along. I think it would be a great idea, but I want to see what the interest level is. Are you guys interested in something like that? So let me know if you're interested, because quite a few people said they were interested in knitting that sweater with the unique construction. And if you are, please leave a comment and let me know, okay? I want to if there's not a lot of people interested, we won't do it. But if there is, we'll do it. So let me know. Let me show you just a couple stash acquisitions and we'll call it a night. This is by, once again, Gabby of Once Upon a Corgi. She's Upon a Corgi on Etsy. And it's Lemony Snicket is the colorway. And oh my gosh, this colorway is beautiful. There's like a light caramel color, this dark charcoal, this gorgeous tealy aqua color. There's a little bit of, am I wrong? Like a golden color. No, I think that's it. And it's on Stellina base, this one is. I think this is gorgeous. That might go in a shawl. That's why, I don't know. But I love this. Beautiful work, Gabby. I know I showed you Devon's from Francofille Knits. She's indie dyer and podcaster. I showed you the giveaway for the knit along I'm doing with Mina of the Knitting Expat, the Wee Knits along. Knitting for babies and little children. That's going to wrap up here very soon, November 20th. And I showed you guys a couple prizes for that, and we'll talk about that next podcast. But this one is called Damned Woman. And I think this is so fun. She had a card that explained her colorways, because I asked her for that information, and so much time has passed. So when I had that big chunk of time from the last podcast, a lot of things kind of got put away and stuff. So I don't have it, but she names her stuff. It's such a creative way that she names it, and she has some information on that on her website and on her Instagram feed. But I really, once again, no clue what this is going to be, but it's purples and greens and a dash of rust-colored browns. It looks like a little bit of red. I think it's going to be beautiful and something. Okay, so this last skein I have is by Yarn Cafe Creations, and this is by Christy. She just started a new podcast called Yarn Cafe Creations, and it's wonderful. And I saw this skein of yarn on Amy Meek's Instagram feed, and Inked Indigo, and I thought, that's gorgeous. What is that? And I instantly looked it up, and it's like so this looks like almost This to me looks like what real rust would look like with the water draining down. You know, it has that really dark rusty color and it just fades out. That's exactly what it looks like to me. But it's got a tad bit more of a reddish orange color, which rust does have that. And it also has this beautiful soft blue aqua color in here. And then look at this. That is just, oh, there's like a dark green along with some tealy bits and a little bit of that dash of that rust color in here. This is gorgeous and squishy. I bought 2 skeins of this and no idea what I'm going to do with this yet, but I love it. And there's just huge chunks of cream in it. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I love seeing beautiful yarn on podcasts. So I think there will always be a little bit of stash acquisition on my podcast. We'll see. We'll see what the new year brings, but I like sharing those with you guys. I thought I'd show you that. I'm pretty sure there's more stash acquisition that I've had, but that's what I have for right now. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And I am so glad I got to spend time with you guys. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time.